Welcome to this edition of Your Ticket to Baseball Nostalgia. This is Dan Busby, baseball ticket collector, researcher, and author. My first baseball book was entitled Before and After Babe Ruth, a story of the New York Yankees as told through the lens of tickets and passes. In this edition of Your Ticket to Baseball Nostalgia, we are covering the tickets and passes related to the 1949 World Series between the Dodgers and Yankees. This is all based on my book, Before and After Jackie Robinson, a story of the Brooklyn National League team as told through the lens of tickets and passes. Just before the 1949 World Series, the Yankees had moved their clubhouse from the third base side of the diamond to the first base side. However, the Yankees had not emptied out their old clubhouse. Carl Erskine, Dodger pitcher, remembers, when we entered the visitors' locker room, we were not only confronted with the atmosphere of being in a national shrine, but we also noticed that still in place and not yet moved to the Yankees side were the lockers and uniforms of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. The 1949 World Series was not good news for either the Dodgers or Jackie Robinson. The Dodgers lost the series to the Yankees and Robinson had only 3 hits. It was a tough loss for the Dodgers in Game 1 of the World Series in Yankee Stadium. Here's the World Series program for Yankee Stadium. It was Allie Reynolds for the Yankees versus Don Newcombe for the Dodgers, power against power. But Tommy Heinrich hit a line drive in the stadium's short porch in right field, the lower stand, for a 1-0 last inning win over Newcombe. Newcombe and Reynolds had fought through a scoreless 8 innings when Heinrich, first up in the 9th, hit it out. Over 9 innings, Reynolds struck out 9 Dodgers, including Duke Snider 3 times. But over 8.5 innings, Newcombe struck out 11, every Yankee but Rizzuto and Heinrich. He walked nobody. Newcombe said it was the best game he had ever pitched. Game 2 went to the Dodgers as Elwin Preacher Rowe started for the Dodgers against Vic Raishie. Preacher was a left-handed string bean, all bones and angles and Adam's apple out of northeast Arkansas hill country. He stood 6'2" and weighed 163 pounds. Rowe threw a 6-hit, 1-0 masterpiece. Robinson doubled off Raishie and scored on a Hodges single in the 2nd inning. In the 4th inning, Preacher stopped a line drive by Johnny Lindell that injured the index finger on his glove hand. Doc Wendler performed a minor operation on Rowe's fingernail to let the blood drain. Rowe later said his forkball was working well that day. What he was really saying, in his slick country way, was that his spitball was working well. The series moved to Ebbets Field for Game 3, and here's the World Series program that was sold at Ebbets Field. Despite a fine 8-inning performance by 23-year-old Ralph Branca, the Dodgers lost 4-3. The game was 1-1 going into the 9th inning. Branca gave up 2 runs on a single by Johnny Mize that he hit off the right field screen and left a man on who scored off reliever Jack Batta. The Dodgers scored 2 in the 9th on solo home runs by Roy Campanella and Luis Olmo, reinstated from the Mexican League. Pee Wee Reese hit a home run earlier, making all Dodger runs coming on home runs into the left field stands. Yankee reliever Joe Page won in relief of Tommy Byrne. Bobby Brown was the hitting star of Game 4 at Ebbets Field. He hit a bases-loaded triple in the 5th inning that finished Newcombe. Nuke was pitching on only 2 games rest. Winning 6-4, the Yankees took a commanding 2-game lead in the series. Allie Reynolds won the game in relief. The game produced 1 highly productive inning for the Dodgers and 8 disappointing ones. They entered the 6th inning trailing 6-0. Of the first 8 men who came to bat, 7 got singles. They wound up with only 4 runs, all of which scored after 2 were out. Snider hit into a double play in the inning. In the first 4 games, Snider had only 1 single and 16 trips to the plate. Game 5 was the final game of the series. Branch Rickey wanted Preacher Rowe to start Game 5, but Rowe couldn't get his swollen, misshapen finger into his glove. Rickey insisted to no avail and finally called Rowe a coward. Joe DiMaggio, despite being 18 pounds underweight from a respiratory infection, homered in the 4th inning. Gil Hodges hit a 3-run homer in the 7th inning, but the gloom had already settled in at Ebbets Field. The Yankees won the game 10-6. Rex Barney started for the Dodgers. He was wild, throwing 37 pitches in the first inning, and he left in the third inning. Vic Raschi won with Page in relief. The Dodgers hit only .210 during the 5 games of the series. During the season, their starting lineup had a team batting average of .295. Reese had a good series, batting .316 with a home run, but Duke Snider and Jackie Robinson, both future Hall of Famers, batted under .200, and Carl Furillo, plagued by a torn muscle, could start only 2 games. This was Casey Stengel's first triumphant Yankee series, even though Joe DiMaggio batted only .111. Trying to describe Stengel's craggy face, sports writer Jimmy Cannon once said, "Stengel has the look of an eagle that has just flown through a sleet storm." Here's the Dodgers press pin for the World Series and press pass from Yankee Stadium and Ebbets Field. So the 1940s closed with a 3rd World Series loss for Brooklyn. Wait till next year was the plaintive wail heard across Brooklyn. Few people realized that within a decade the ballpark would be dark and the Dodgers would be playing in Los Angeles. Well, thank you for joining us for this edition of Your Ticket to Baseball Nostalgia. This video is based on my book, Before and After Jackie Robinson, the story of the Brooklyn National League team as told through the lens of tickets and passes. For more information on old baseball tickets, go to baseballticketman.com and order your copy of Before and After Babe Ruth and Before and After Jackie Robinson on Amazon. Plus, watch for my 3rd baseball book, Before and After Satchel Paige. And a special thank you to Daniel Herman, who shot and edited this video.